Have you ever watched someone who actually seems to enjoy the gym? Or the person who wakes up early and doesn't look like they're dying inside about it? And some part of you thinks, what is wrong with me? Why does this feel like torture for me and not for them? Here's the truth nobody tells you. They're not stronger than you. They're not more disciplined than you. Their brain has just been rewired to feel differently about the exact same action you're avoiding right now. Discipline isn't a personality trait some people are born with. It's a relationship your brain has with an action, and relationships can change. Today, we're breaking down the real psychology of how your brain learns to actually enjoy discipline, not just tolerate it. And by the end of this, you'll understand exactly why it's felt so hard and what actually shifts it. Here's something most people get backwards. They think discipline means forcing yourself to do something you hate over and over until one day it magically gets easier. But that's not how the brain works, and it's actually why so many people quit. Your brain doesn't run on willpower alone. It runs on associations. It constantly asks one quiet question in the background of everything you do. Does this feel like pain, or does this feel like reward? And whichever answer it lands on gets wired in a little deeper every single time you repeat the behavior. This means discipline isn't really about gritting your teeth harder. It's about changing what your brain associates the action with in the first place. Let's break down exactly how that happens. 1. Your brain runs on prediction, not willpower. Your brain is a prediction machine. Before you even start a task, it's already forecasting how that task is going to feel based on every time you've done something similar before. This forecast is powered by dopamine, and here's the part most people don't know. Dopamine isn't just released when something feels good. It's released in anticipation of something based on what your brain expects. If every time you've sat down to work out or study, it felt exhausting and joyless, your brain built a prediction. This is going to be unpleasant. So now, before you even begin, your brain is already bracing for pain. That dread you feel before starting isn't weakness. It's literally your brain running an old prediction model. This is why the hardest part is almost always right before you start, not during. Once you're actually doing the thing, the discomfort your brain predicted is often smaller than expected. But your brain doesn't know that yet because it's still running on old data. 2. The discipline trap most people fall into. A lot of people try to build discipline through pressure, guilt, and self-criticism. I have to do this or I'm lazy. I should be better than this. This might get you moving in the short term, but psychologically, it teaches your brain something dangerous, that the action is connected to shame. This is called a negative reinforcement loop, when you only associate a behavior with avoiding a bad feeling rather than gaining a good one. And the problem with shame-based motivation is that it works until it doesn't. Eventually, your brain starts avoiding the shame by avoiding the task altogether, which looks like procrastination, but is really self-protection. If you've ever noticed that guilt tripping yourself into productivity works for a while and then completely stops working, that's not you being weak. That's your brain refusing to keep running on a fuel source that hurts it every single time. 3. Small wins rewire faster than big goals. Your brain doesn't get rewired by huge, dramatic transformations. It gets rewired by small, repeated wins that give it a little hit of dopamine each time. This is why massive, all-or-nothing goals often fail. They don't give your brain enough small rewards along the way to build a new association. Psychologist B.J. Fogg's research on tiny habits found that behavior change sticks best when the action is small enough to feel almost effortless, because effortless actions get repeated, and repeated actions are what actually rewire the brain, not intensity. This is why doing 5 minutes of the thing you're avoiding can shift more than forcing an hour once and burning out. Every time you complete something small and feel a tiny sense of "I did that," your brain quietly updates its prediction. This wasn't so bad. Maybe this is safe. Over time, those tiny updates are what discipline is actually built from. 4. Identity changes before motivation does. Here's something powerful that most people never hear. Motivation doesn't usually come first. Identity does. When you start seeing yourself as someone who shows up, even in small ways, your brain starts filtering your choices through that identity, almost automatically. This is different from motivation, which is a feeling that comes and goes. Identity is a belief about who you are, and beliefs are stickier than feelings. Someone who identifies as a runner doesn't need to feel motivated every single day. They just do what runners do, because it fits who they believe they are. This is why repeating small actions matters so much, not just for the result, but because every rep is a small vote for a new identity. You're not just building a habit, you're quietly building evidence for who you're becoming, and eventually your brain starts acting from that identity instead of needing to be convinced each time. 5. Your nervous system needs to feel safe first. Sometimes discipline feels impossible not because you're unmotivated, but because your nervous system is overwhelmed. When you're stressed, anxious, or running on empty, your brain shifts into a protective mode, and in that mode, anything that feels like extra effort gets treated as a threat to avoid, not a goal to pursue. This is connected to what psychologists call your window of tolerance, the zone where you can think clearly and take action. Outside that window, your brain isn't being lazy, it's trying to survive the moment, and new, effortful behavior gets pushed aside for basic self-protection. This is why some days, discipline feels completely out of reach, even when you want it badly. That's not a character flaw. That's your nervous system telling you it needs safety and rest before it can take on anything else. Real discipline includes knowing when to push and when your brain genuinely needs to recover first. 6. Enjoyment is built, not found. Here's the part that changes everything. Enjoyment isn't something you either have or don't have for a task. It's something that gets built through repeated pairing. This is rooted in classical conditioning, when a neutral action gets linked again and again with a feeling until eventually the action itself starts to trigger that feeling. This is why people who love running once hated it, and people who love their morning routine once dreaded their alarm. Somewhere along the way, the action got paired with something rewarding, a mood boost, pride, sense of control, and slowly, the brain started associating the action itself with that reward. You can actually help this along. Pairing a hard task with something you enjoy, a favorite playlist, a coffee you love, a small reward afterward, isn't cheating. It's literally how your brain learns new associations. Discipline isn't about eliminating pleasure and forcing yourself through pain. It's about slowly teaching your brain that this action and good feelings can exist in the same place. If discipline has always felt like something other people were just naturally good at, I hope this changed something for you today. It was never about being stronger or more determined or having something you don't have. It was about prediction, association, safety, and identity, all things that can be rebuilt slowly and gently, no matter where you're starting from. Every small action you take is quietly teaching your brain something new. Every tiny win is proof your nervous system can update its old predictions. You are not lazy and you are not behind. You are simply midway through a rewiring process that takes time, repetition, and a little bit of patience with yourself. The version of you that finds this easier isn't a different person. It's you a little further down the road, after enough small moments of showing up. And that road starts exactly where you are right now. If this helped you see discipline a little differently today, hit subscribe button, because we break down the real psychology behind the things that hold us back and the things that quietly help us grow. See you in the next one.